meeting to order. Before we start with the prayer, Linda would like to have something to say.
Rick Thornton called me today, and he's having some serious health issues. And he wanted everybody to kind of remember him in prayers if you're a praying type person or whatever, but he just said, kind of remember him because he's having some serious health issues. So he wanted me to address everybody and let them know that, so.
Okay. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this great day you blessed us with. We thank you for our friends and our family. We thank you for our community. And Lord, we thank you so much for sending your son, Jesus, to die for us. And Lord, we just ask that you remember Rick Thornton, that you watch over him, comfort him, and help him whatever he may be dealing with, and help him with his health, Lord. And Lord, we thank you so much, and we love you so much. In Jesus' name, amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, thank you all for coming, all of you. We must be getting boring, is that the problem? Okay, we've got old business to start with, and that is to discuss the budget. Do we have anybody here? Oh, did we do roll call? We didn't do roll call?
Let's start over, roll.
I was playing.
Linda Vandervoort,
Well, jump right in.
Laura Wagner, here. Mayor John Krasuski,
Here.
Punky Stevenson,
Here.
Murray Anderson,
Here.
all present.
Now may I?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right back where we were. Do we have everybody for the Parks Airport? Oh, yeah. I guess that Eddie's the one that takes care of most of this. Yeah, we do have everybody here. Okay. Eddie, we will start with you. And we'll start where you want to.
Looks like they
Parks,
start and end with.
Airport, and cemetery. What do you want to start with?
We can start with cemetery if you want. It's pretty cut and dry.
Okay.
Let me get it separate from everything else here. I haven't spent anything from last year's budget on miscellaneous because I'm waiting till just right before Memorial Day, because this is mainly for gravel, you know, recoating all the roads to the cemetery. And that's, I figure it doesn't hurt to do that every year, you know, especially down in the lower part of Green Lawn, as much water runs through there. We got to gravel it every year. So, and I don't remember the last time we put gravel in the old cemetery. We've got some tree roots growing through some of the roads in the middle of Green Lawn. I'm gonna try and get in there and chew those tree roots out before I put this gravel in. But, I mean, that's pretty much the bulk of the cemetery budget. So,
You said we haven't put gravel on it.
I haven't, not in the old cemetery. I put some last year. I think I put a couple loads on, went around like the road and vet cemetery. I think I just did 2 loads last year and concentrated on vets, because the year before I put some on Green Lawn. Green Lawn's well overdue, so is the old cemetery.
So if we do a comparison of anything in the past, then it's really not going to compare.
Not really.
We need to upgrade the.
Yeah, because, I mean, within, you know, before, a couple of years ago, I mean, it was just, we've got a pothole, we're gonna put a little gravel on this. So we've been trying to address the roads, especially right before Memorial Day, just kind of keep everything looking clean for all the people coming in town.
Does the veteran cemetery, do we do anything with it, or?
On the veterans side, the veterans, we don't. We don't collect anything for that.
Yeah.
You know, the VFW takes care of it. Now, north of the veteran cemetery, we've got like section 6 and section 7.
Yeah.
So the road, it's a loop road. The north road cuts between the city's section and the vet cemetery. So,
Okay.
I mean, it's just a circle drive, comes right back out by the flags. But that's all I have on cemetery.
Anybody have any questions on the cemetery?
And the lights good out there?
I mean,
I don't want it super bright, let's start with that right off the bat. But do we have enough lighting and stuff? Because we're coming up into the spring and summer times, and that's also when we have more movement at night.
yeah, we don't have very much lights up at the cemetery. We never have in the past. It wouldn't hurt if we had one on that,
Maybe in the center at least.
yeah, I would, I mean,
On the,
Getting power to it would be the tricky part. It'd have to be overhead, you know, to keep from, you know, we can't really bury anything through there. That might be something I'd have to touch base with Kyle on. I do have, you know, I've got one extra light from when we ordered for West Park.
Right?
If we could get power to a central location like up there where that, there's like a memorial monument up in the back portion of that cemetery. If we could get a pole there, you know, and put, and that's one 300-watt lights.
yeah,
So,
no, the airplanes would be landing in the cemetery.
Can we,
so,
That thing's way too bright.
yeah, it is bright.
can we do
He's
something with
just talking
solar
about
so we
the
wouldn't have to run, some of these solar lights are not bad.
Yeah, I could look into it. I mean, like I said, I didn't put anything on my budget for that, but I don't think I'm gonna use all that I have in my budget this year, so I can look around at some, you know, see if I can find some budget-friendly solar lights.
What about on the west side pole, there's the big lights that shine at the parking lot at the youth center? And right just on the back side of that, something to,
We could,
just to give us a glow over there, so that,
yeah, there wouldn't be nothing wrong with it.
The shed itself is on the east side, and I think we've got a pole that comes up to the expansion for the cemetery, that one, but is there a way of getting it
We've got-
closer to the main lot, which is between the youth center
is there a
and,
transformer there?
or if we run LED, all basically they need to do is just run over an overhead light or cord. It'll be more than that, but yeah.
We can look at it.
Yeah, we can look at it. I know there's a pole right there by the turn-in for the city shed. There's a pole right there. We could possibly point one northeast over toward the veterans. And I'll have to look and see where poles are up and down through there. I can't remember off the top of my head, but, I mean, I can look into it.
Yeah, ask Kyle to check it out, and give us a recommendation of what they want.
Okay, I can do that.
Any further questions on the cemetery? Okay, how about the airport?
All right, I've got a couple things on there, like terminal update, and by that, it's just, I've had a couple of pilots mentioned, and weren't really demand, but, you know, things that they kind of like to see. Every once in a while, we have pilots come in, if they're bringing somebody in for a meeting, or, you know, something like that, they want to kill some time. In the past, they had satellite TV and a couch and everything. That's not, I don't really want to get back into that. But that's back when we had a full-time guy there. But however, we already have internet service at the airport. If we put in a smart TV, that way the pilots want to log into their own Netflix or Prime account, whatever, they can just log out when they're done and leave. You know, that way the city's not out any added monthly expense. And, you know, you can get those smart TVs pretty reasonable. You know, if we can pick up like just like a love seat or something like that, because if they're, you know, if they're wanting to kill a few hours while they're waiting for their ride, or for their passengers to come back. So, you know, it's a thought, kind of get us more like an FBO versus just a bathroom, you know. And also, I like to repaint that internal, the what used to be the maintenance terminal and the main office. I mean, they're looking a little bit dated. I mean, in the fall of the year, if things start slowing down, I can get a couple of guys on it and get it painted. I think dress it up, make it look better. I mean, everybody that comes through town's seeing it. So, and then, and also for the front door, for years we've had to hide a key. And, you know, it's not, an explanation of where the key is not something you really put on the website. But they do make alarm locks for those that are keypad entry, and you can change it, you know, through, what a lot of people do is they'll set it to like a certain frequency on the radio, you know, that's, and we can put that on the website, that only the pilots have access to this. So if they're flying in and they pull up one of the various websites that we're on, and our code is on that, they can get right in and do what they need to do. And it's not just broadcast out for everybody to know.
I don't think they understand, but if all the pilots understand, I guess we're good.
There's, and I wasn't even aware of it, but there, you know, once I got doing more to airport, there's several websites that these pilots get on for, you know, airport identifiers, and it gives a lot of information, your elevation, your runway direction, your runway length, and your weight limits and stuff like that. Those type of websites you can put on there. One of them I'm on, I think it's called ADIP. I can put in there, you know, this is our entry code for our terminal. You know, they can pull that up, punch in the code, and get access. And I don't have to try and walk them to the key. Hopefully nobody has found the key, you know. So I think it'd be a little bit more secure.
So basically be the same.
Be just like the back door City Hall. So, and then, so that's pretty much it for terminal update.
When you said hangar number 1, what's?
That's the maintenance terminal. That's the one that faces east.
Oh, yeah.
And it and the terminal are all one big building. So that used to be the maintenance terminal. That was whoever was head, you know, manager of the airport at the time also did some mechanic work, and they used both of them. So
But don't you rent it out now?
we did rent it out, yeah. And then on the courtesy car, we haven't had any trouble out of it. I put that $800 on there. It's gotten several more miles on it this year than it has in the past with the police training and whatnot. And I'm kind of looking in, you know, at the future as far as like a set of tires for that thing. If something happens, we got to put tires on it. As you can see, we don't have much of an airport budget. So, I mean, I'm just kind of put up a safety net for it. That way we don't have to go in and amend anything. But that's about all I had on the airport.
You guys have any questions? I think,
Service road
In the back,
in the back?
I don't have a lot of plans for it as of right now due to the flooding issues.
Even if we just go through and put it as rock, but it's still gonna be rock for a budget.
Yeah, I mean, we can do that. Like I said, I hadn't planned a whole lot until we could address the water issue. Because, you know, even if we put rock on it,
It's still gonna have a chance to wash off.
yeah.
Do we need to do any upgrades to the front parking areas for the anticipated of extra traffic in those two areas?
I hadn't really looked that far into it. I mean, the way things are going, I mean, I don't know a
I
whole
mean,
lot.
I know that our grants are gonna cover a lot of this, but I still think we need
Yeah,
to
maybe
maybe
draw the line
forecast.
on those grants and what we can and can't do with them at the airport.
That I'm not sure of. That would be a question for Benish, our engineer. I know like as far as the pavement project, it'll cover like the runway, the taxiway, and the apron. As far as the parking lot goes, I wouldn't be hopeful on it. I mean, I think they're gonna pretty much concentrate on where the airplanes themselves are going to be. I would say any parking lot stuff would be on us. As far as the parking lot there, I mean, it's mainly used for the semi drivers. You know, they park their rigs there overnight.
Well, looking at in front of where the maintenance building is, where they're projected for what the next two heavy stations are going to be at, because we definitely need to beef that up before we put anything there for people to start using.
Are you talking about, where is this at now?
Where the maintenance building is, where you come down and off, so if you got four of those chargers, if and when they get there, we're gonna have to beef that up, because once they're in place, it's gonna be harder to go through and fix any of that area, but as long as we're up to, as far as for how thick it is.
I think we're fine. And the chargers themselves are gonna be over on the western portion that they come in, so I don't think there'll be an issue. And the weight of those aircrafts are just pretty much right there with, you know, your twin-engine airplane. So, I don't think I have to worry a whole lot about the.
It's just a lot more traffic as well.
More traffic, yeah. Now, when they come in and do the pavement maintenance work, it should increase our payload capacity by a considerable amount. I would love to see an all concrete runway. but, that's a lot of money. So I wanna say we're around 5 inches thick on our asphalt right now. You know, if they come in and do a 2-inch overlay, that should up our weight rating, but, you know, I had a gentleman call, I don't know, 1 month ago, give or take, he was wanting to come in with a larger aircraft, and he was gonna come in fairly close to full, and he was around 74,000 pounds. I had to turn him away, we couldn't handle it. So, I mean, he could have landed, but there's a good chance he would have ruddered our runway. So, we couldn't risk that, as much, you know, regardless of how much I wanted to accommodate him, we couldn't do it. But, I mean, as far as like the parking area, I think we're pretty good there. The pavement maintenance should take care of everything up to the concrete.
Okay.
So, we should be good.
Any other issues or anything else you see out at the airport that
Our-
expected in the next year?
The only thing I can think of right off the top of my head is the windsock lights. I had the engineers look into possibly getting a grant to replace them, but they weren't old enough. So I don't have a clue what's wrong with them. There's an underground transformer out there. It's, you know, the high voltage comes in under the runway into this box, and from that box, it goes out to like our beacon light, our windsock. I don't have any power to windsock. So, and as far as anything electrical there, it's got to be somebody that's certified in that. So whenever they come out to do the PAPI lights, I'm gonna have them look at that and kind of give me an idea of what we're looking at. But as of right now, I don't even have a clue. And I don't, you know, these outfits are gonna be coming from a long ways away. So whenever they get here to work on that, I want to have them look at it. It could be something simple as just a wire loose in there. It's kind of a nightmare when you open that box up. I know the electric department looked at it at one time, but according to the engineers, that's all we can do is look at it. Pretty much anything when it comes to airport, if you're not certified in it, don't touch it. So, but, I mean, that's the only thing I can think of that I'm having issues with right now, is that windsock light. And I said I didn't put anything down for it, because I don't have a clue yet what we're looking at. So, and it could be this time next year before they're in there putting those PAPI lights in, just as long as everything is taken. She said, you know, we can get in and get everything put in place. She said the light heads themselves were a year out. So, I mean, just kind of that way with everything right now.
That's all I've got.
You guys got anything else?
Well, with the grant money that we get, is there a chance we could look at a dump truck with a snowplow to clear the runway?
Possibly.
No.
I just sat down with the person that writes our grants and asked that question, because I knew you and I had talked about that several months ago, and it was brought in front of the current mayor, and he was like, oh my gosh. I questioned her about that, and she explained to me that when she checked into it, that if that dump truck was ever caught off of property, that they could actually take that money back from us, because it is only used for the airport. So yes, it could be, but it could never leave airport property.
So it could be. Because we don't have a lawnmower in a similar situation right now that can only be used at the airport?
It was bought with the CARES Act money. I don't know the exact stipulations on that, but
I thought it was, I thought it was only used there.
You might check and just see if they can do a separate rural development grant. I know they do those for vehicles. You can just do one just for a
Questioned her
dump
this
truck.
week about it.
If it stays at the airport, kind of frees up the other one for a little bit.
yeah. And I mean, yeah, a big dump truck would be nice, but it could even be something as simple as a 1-ton truck with plowway. You know, it'd be, I mean, any vehicle you look at right now is ridiculously expensive, but I would think a 1-ton would be cheaper than a dump truck.
Yep.
And as far as the spreader goes, it don't matter, because you can't spread nothing on the runway anyways. All you can do is wet it.
If we was gonna do that, what would they be able to do if they're gonna do it for dump trucks? What about a cab tractor with a snow blade on it? You could do a purpose out of it.
Yeah,
Use it around the airport.
Yep.
yeah, use it, put it like a finish
They've
mower.
got, yeah, well, yeah, and they've got those now, I'm sure you're aware of it, but they've got the swivel blades and
Yeah.
it's an actual snow blade.
Yeah, matter of fact, I had to get one of the pilots down this last winter, one of our snows that we had. I contacted the street department, we got one of the trucks out there and made one pass, blew the hydraulic hose. So I had to call one of the pilots and he brought his tractor down with a plow blade on it and he cleaned it off. Pretty slick.
Rick Roberts has got one that does our church out there.
That's who it was.
It's pretty neat, but if we could get a dual use out of it, that'd be awesome.
That would
Good idea.
That would be
It's gonna
nice.
off the- Anyway.
Yeah, if we had something like that, and like finish mower, because down at the airport, the finish mower is nice. You can knock out a lot of ground, so yeah, we could look into something like that. I know mp4 offers some grants and or loans, either or, so that might be something we could look at. But are we ready for parks now?
Yeah, we're ready for parks.
Here's the big one. So, on parks, the main thing I wanted to put on there, mower. Of course, we purchased one last year. So as it stands right now, we've got one mower that's under warranty. We've got our Spartan, that's our newest one. We've got the Skag stand-up mower. It's a good mower for what it was designed for, but I was somewhat misled when we purchased it. It's just not fast enough for what we need to do. But wastewater absolutely loves it. And then we also have a sit-down Skag. It's got somewhere around 1,100 hours on it, 1,200 hours, something like that. It's been out of warranty for about a year, give or take. I just had to put a clutch on it right when we first started mowing this year. It was $600 for clutch. What would be nice, and I spoke with wastewater about it. They were at the time willing to purchase the stand-up mower off of us and put that money toward purchasing another sit-down mower, regardless of what brand. I mean, I'm pretty flexible on that. But that would give us two mowers under warranty. And then we can put that sit-down Skag as a backup mower. And then what would be nice would be next year, get another one, pass these mowers down to the departments that don't mow as much as we do. And then the mowers that they're not using, sell them. Have some sort of an auction or however you guys want to do it. But as we get new ones with us, running these things 4 days a week, give or take, and we try to change the oil on these every other week, and try to get them between 80 and 100 hours to change the oil on them. So, we keep the maintenance up pretty good. As far as the engines go, shouldn't have a lot of trouble out of them, but it's all the other components. If you got 1,200 hours on a mower and you're trying to run it 40 hours, say 30 hours a week, minus your maintenance time and all that stuff, things start breaking. So if we can pass those down to the departments that don't run them as often, they should get a lot of use out of them. So that was my number one thing on there.
Your $11,000 to $12,000 mower, what would you project that to last with the hours you use them? 3 years?
Yeah, usually about 3 years, around 300 hours a year, 300 to 400 hours a year is what we're looking at.
And $1,000 about
at 1,000 hours, it seems to me like at 1,000 hours, that's when we start seeing the most trouble. And by the time they get 1,000 hours, they're out of warranty. So, and if we can pass those down to a department that doesn't use them as hard as we do, they'll get more life out of them. So, and, you know, if we can keep doing that, they use it for a year, move it down to another department, you know, and then when they get to a certain point, sell it, you know, recoup some of our money back. So, that was the main capital item I had on there.
What brand of mower were you looking at for the,
That bid I got was for Spartan. That was the last one we bought. It's been a real good mower. I haven't been real pleased with the service from where we bought it, so I would like to look around. See if I can find something comparable in price, maybe closer, and a little bit more dependable. I mean, a good mower's a good mower, but if it breaks down and you can't get parts or have trouble communicating with your dealer, you don't do you a whole lot of good. And like I said, this price here, that was just, I figured that was probably on the high end, so I just kind of stuck with that. And like I said, I put the total cost down there, and then if, you know, wastewater, if they decide they want to chip in 5,000, well, there'll be 5,000 of the new purchase price that we won't use. So, and if we want to leave that in the budget, you know, let's say if we have a weed eater that goes down on us, you know, well, we've got the money there.
That was actually my question, is you're listing the big ticket items, but you have a lot of other equipment. Is 3 mowers enough for doing the job as far as for parts?
I got 3 guys.
Okay,
So
so mower
three,
base.
3 set down mowers, we can get a lot done. We used to run 2 set downs and a tractor with a finish mower.
Mhm.
And we could pretty much do everything in 3 days, give us 1 day to weed eat and 1 day for service. So one of these set down mowers cuts almost as fast as what that finish mower did behind the tractor. Because, you know, the finish mower, you're running at around 5.5 miles an hour. Well, with set down mowers, you're running almost double that. So, I mean, you could almost keep up with the finish mower.
Weed eaters, blowers, things along that nature, how old are they?
Our weed eaters aren't too bad. Our blower's pretty old. I'd say it's probably somewhere around 8 years old. And for a 2-cycle engine, that's getting up there. But of course, the blower it's a pretty short seasonal deal. You know, you use it for about a month out of the year. You know, with the weed eaters, they get used pretty hard through summer. So, I mean, I like to get 3 years out of a weed eater. So, you know, if I can spend $250 on a weed eater and get 3 years out of it, it's pretty much lived its life. But when we use them, we run them.
if you have one of the mowers, say you got your 3 mowers, if one of those goes down, is there a problem with borrowing one from wastewater or whatever?
No, we've never had any problems.
I just didn't know
Yeah,
how they.
no, we've never had any issues in the past. We've got the old Gravely, that was purchased, I think, in 2009. We're still running it, you know, that's wastewater, or not wastewater, water department, they use that for mowing their wells. Whenever we got the Skag, I pretty much give them that one. That way, they don't have to wait for us or have to work around the parks department schedule. It's there, when they need to mow their wells, they just grab it and go. So, and that's what I would recommend. If we get a new one, we can move, you know, well, it'd be nice to have 3. Eventually, one of
You
these
can always
mowers.
borrow it back.
Yeah, exactly. But there more than likely will be a mower sitting there when they need to mow. You know, that Skag will be there. They can take it and use it. So, and then as far as maintenance goes, I mean, we can work something out, kind of split the cost on maintenance if it's the mower that they're using. Something breaks, we can kind of split it up percentage-wise. But that was my plan anyway, is to kind of pass the older mowers down to the departments that don't use them as often as the parks department does.
Is Is there a chance Brown's here in town has a mower big enough for what you're wanting?
Oh, yeah, and we had purchased from them before. I've got
That'd be an
bids-
easy
I've got
service.
bids from them. Last time, they come in quite a bit over the other competitive bid, and that's the only reason.
But you'll still be putting bids out anyway.
Yeah, we would be, yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah, I just, this bid here seemed to me like it was a little on the high end, so I thought I'll just stick with that. We should be able to find something within that price range.
Okay.
So, but yeah, absolutely.
So,
I
let's give them a
definitely,
shot.
yeah, I definitely want to reach out to them. So, give them a chance anyways. So,
There's a lot other that Parks does other than just mowing, so what other equipment do you need as far as for upkeep or things that are getting older, things along that nature? Because it's, your
Yeah.
job's not just to mow.
I didn't get too in depth. I kind of got rushed on this, which everybody did. I mean,
Yep.
we got rushed a little bit. The Parks guys do they do all their own maintenance as far as the oil changing, blade sharpening, tires and whatnot. If it's something major, engine work or something like that on one that's out of warranty, then we'll get with Daniel with the shop. But, an impact, a cordless impact for the guys to do their, change their blades out. That, I think that would be a pretty good investment.
So much money do you think that you would need for total for tools? You only brought up one. but
Yeah.
If you gave a blanket as far as for the amount for tools,
Yeah, I don't even remember what I put down on there.
You have air compressor big enough to run the impact
I was thinking going cordless.
electric.
Cordless,
electric, yeah.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be bad.
'Cause we do have an air compressor, but it's a little one, so.
Just
I mean,
tires.
Yeah, if we did a cordless, then,
Yeah,
yeah,
ideal.
there, and the amount of torque on them cordlesses nowadays is unreal.
Yep.
Unreal.
So what are they, three
Uh,
thousand?
300 for the gotta do Milwaukee out now that we use at my house. My son uses it on dozers and stuff all the time, but it's around $300 for a set of them with 2 batteries.
That's
But
pretty
it might
good.
also be something to get to a bigger pack where they had extra things like a grinder
Yeah.
and other things. So you're
Yep.
probably looking at $1,000 as
Yep.
one of the
And,
packs for them.
and two, on this 12,000 I put in there for the mower, if we get 5,000 from another department for the mower, we can use what's left over for some of the other tools as well.
And it might be a little bit higher than that, John, because I bought mine at Farm Fest and it was one deal, around $300.
I'd say it's gonna be somewhere in that ballpark. I was looking here the other day, and I think for the half inch with the battery and charger was three and a half, something like that, so. But yeah, and like I said, kinda got rushed around there at the end, so there's a lot of little things that I didn't write down, that this cushion on that, the 12,000 I put down for the mower, say if we can get one for 2011, 11.5, and we get $5,000 from them, that whatever's left over should be more than enough to get any tools we would need. So, and then, I thought I made an adjustment on here, but apparently I just thought I did, and didn't actually do it. Which I had figured in to re-roof all the pavilions, and previous mayor had a roofing company come in, and they give them a bid, and he didn't much care for that bid, so I got with the lumber yard. I haven't got anything back with them on materials for metal, but there looks like a little bit of a hiccup in the wages portion. So I would like to add down here on the repair and maintenance. I really probably need to do repair and maintenance of buildings.
Yep.
Probably need to add about 4,000 to that.
At current pricing, you think that's enough?
I think if we do all the work in-house, I would think, because I remember what the original price was.
I couldn't afford them, but I know just one of them is $4,000. So I have seen those bids somewhere.
But you
Yeah.
bought recently. shingles, right?
That was for shingles, yes.
Yes.
And I wanted to go back with metal, personally. I mean, strip the shingles, go back with metal, and then ideally you don't mess with it for 40 years. And I think I know we've got plenty of manpower to do that in-house, so that'll save us quite a bit of money there. That's a project we can take care of in the off-season. But yeah, I
You've
didn't,
got 4,000 in repair and maintenance buildings. Did you want to add another 4,000?
That's-
yeah.
Or just duplicate it again, or,
Well,
understand.
You've got 4,000 here, under R and M buildings. So
Okay.
you did write 4. Are you saying that you didn't think you wrote it and you need to add another 4, or you just needed 4 total?
Did I do there?
How many buildings are you looking at?
Well, it's 3 pavilions,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's probably all I want to put metal on. I need to do some shingle work to the bandstand,
Okay.
but it's not near as bad as the rest of them.
Okay. What's the structure like underneath the metal and the roofs now?
Best I can tell, it's pretty solid yet. I mean, the longer we put it off, the worse it's
So
going to
10-15% repair of structure?
get. Probably so. I think that'd be pretty
I
safe.
think we'll be pushing 8 to 10.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what the dimensions were on that one.
I don't think I've ever seen them.
Yeah, I didn't. I
You
had-
agree, don't you?
Yeah, metal's high.
Metal's high. 8 to 10, and even shingles isn't far from it.
No. We done the first half of our house and it was almost 4 for shingles.
You wanna double that for?
That's what I would like to do.
Make it
And then we'll do whatever that'll get. I mean, of course, start on the worst ones first, get those knocked out. Like I said, the bandstand, we've got some old shingles left over from a past job, so if we can use those, I'm gonna use them, you know, save us a little bit of money there. But yeah, I mean, I wish I got those bids back. Dang it. But yeah, if we double that to 8. Oh yeah, I know what else it was. That's why I wanted to double it. And whenever I filled all this out, I had put a call in on playground equipment. We had 2 slides that broke, and it took me forever to hear anything back from them. And of course, they were discontinued. And I remember sitting down in Shannon's office, we was talking about this, and it was, that's what I was gonna add. That's what it was. There was a few different options. One of the slide options was $7,400, give or take, just for that one slide. Yeah, yeah. When you go to talking, commercial play structures, it's insane. The cheapest route, just a ladder was over $500. I've got this in my emails here.
Are we working on a grant for a playground upgrade or something?
Yeah, but that's for Wayside.
Oh.
Yeah, it was, one of the slides was $7,063. I don't think we need to do that slide.
This is for Veterans Park?
This is for Veterans Park, yes. Like I said, the 2 slides that were broke, they discontinued, so what they recommended was to do just a single, the cheapest way to go about it will be about $3,700 to repair that. And what that's gonna do, is we've got 2 broke slides, that'll eliminate one, replace another one. And where we eliminate the one, we'll wind up putting a ladder in place of it to get up to be able to use the other slide.
What's our liability on that? I know a lot of people's getting away from slides and stuff as far as,
Our insurance gets through that.
As long as Eddie keeps his full in compliance, which he just went to a training, we're fine.
Yeah, and that's another reason why you get into very expensive playground equipment is that they're all built to adhere to their specifications. And they're very, very, very thorough on their playground safety. What I say, 160, give or take 165 page booklet we went through at that training meeting. And they didn't skip any pages. We went through every one of them. That's actually why we had to move the swing set at Veterans Park, or at Wayside Park, I'm sorry. It was too close to the pine trees back there. So we cut it off, lowered it, turned it, because you can't have anything. Well, on a swing set, your fall zone is double the height of your rail. So if you're 10 foot to the rail, 20 foot both ways. So a 40-foot fall zone. We were nowhere near in compliance. So what I did was I cut it off flush to the ground. And then when I set it, that lowered it, reduced our fall zone, but I had to turn it running north and south so that we could clear all the trees and everything out there. So yeah, they're pretty serious about their fall zones, and even, you know, a lot of the playground equipment we had to remove, the merry-go-round, we had to get rid of it. And they give us some guidelines, you know, if you've got some old equipment, you can't have any opening between 3.5 and 9 inches. Can't have it. All your bolts on your playgrounds better be carriage side up. When I went to the first one, first thing we did, we went through and flipped every bolt in our playgrounds. Because, I mean, I'm thinking you want the sharp part of the bolt away from everybody. But there's been instances where people got up on top of the swing set, jump off, catch a hoodie string on a bolt, hang themselves. So they're very particular on their playgrounds, which is why that stuff is so expensive. So, but yeah, that was something else I wanted to add to it. I said I didn't get that email until after I had already filled all this stuff out and turned it in.
Benches, other things like that, the fencing, security, I know you got a lot of parks and stuff that you're dealing with. If you could take a look at that and see if there's anything you needed to update with as far, because those can get into big items also.
Yeah, I do have a section of fence I plan on fixing, but I think we've got enough chain link left over from another job or area we took out. I think I'll be able to take care of that. But yeah, I can look around and see if there's anything else that I might want to add to it later. But yeah. So what did we decide? We added 4,000 to the repair and maintenance building, correct?
Yes.
So, the repair and maintenance grounds, we hardly ever get anywhere near our, you know, total budget for repair and maintenance grounds. But knowing right off the bat, we're gonna have to spend, you know, somewhere upwards of $4,000, I wouldn't mind to increase the repair and maintenance grounds to 8,000 from 6. Then that would, because like, as far as repair and maintenance grounds, I'm basically guessing at what I might have to fix.
You just have to figure something at something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's still in line as far as with the current budget. So.
Yeah, and I mean, you can tell, I mean, I've used, 3,100 out of 7,500, so, and, I mean, I don't see me spending a whole lot between July 1st, because after all this other stuff, I'm gonna have to get by with as little as possible, so.
So do you want to adjust something on the equipment? You go back 2 years ago, you spent more than your current budget on equipment.
Trying to find it here. On the R&M equipment?
Yep.
if we can keep mowers within warranty, that cuts down on our repair and maintenance equipment.
Okay.
I said I budgeted 1,500, and I'm at 745. Well, I just bought a clutch. That was $600. So that's, it don't take long working on them mowers to deplete that, which is one reason why I like to have them in warranty if possible. I mean, ideally, I can get by with 1,500 pretty easy. And if we don't have anything else major go out on the stag mower, we should be fine. I said, as far as the maintenance and oil changes go, we do that on a regular basis. But I mean, it's like that clutch, anything with a bearing in it, if it sits all winter and draws any moisture, you run that thing for a while, she gets hot, they go out. I mean, but you don't know on those. And
You guys do all your winterizing yourselves?
yeah, and there's not a whole lot of winterizing on those. We run premium fuel in our mowers it's always been my experience with a small engine like that, if you run ethanol in them, they don't last. And the premium, like with my mower at home, I run premium all the time. I don't have to do anything to it for the off season. I park it, when it comes springtime, I hit the key and she fires right up. So I think that's one of the benefits to running that ethanol, or no ethanol. You get a longer life out of them and less maintenance. So it does cost more to run it, but I think you get, a lot of these mowers are fuel injected anymore. I think with that premium fuel, you get more, I don't know if it'd be mileage or cuttage or however you want to put that, but I think we get better efficiency running that premium and longer life on the engines themselves. So. Can't think of anything else. Repair and maintenance vehicle. I think we're good on that, what I put down for that. And the tools and small equipment at 1,500.
Is that gonna be enough, including what you were just mentioning, or do you wanna raise that a little bit?
Well, I would love to raise it. If the mower thing goes like I planned, I shouldn't need to.
Okay.
So, I really I don't think we need to raise it above where it's at right now.
Okay.
I think we're good.
What about your gas and oil with gas prices are crazy right now?
Yeah. I did on that.
You're doing 5,000 on it.
Yeah, I did 5,000. Honestly, that's probably enough. If gas stays at almost, $4 a gallon. See where we're at right now. 4,000. I've never really sat down and figured out how many gallons a year we use, but if we're at, what are we at now? 80, 85% give or take. We probably wouldn't have to add another 1,000 to that gas and oil.
I think you're still gonna be short
I think
then,
it'd be short of another 1,000.
because gas prices have escalated 45%.
Oh, yeah. I do fuel tracking for work, and it went down just a little bit, and now it's starting to spike back up, so it's another round's coming.
Well, if we're,
How many gallons do you go through a day?
a day, I would say somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 gallons.
Is that for all three mowers?
That's for all three mowers, give or take. Well, I say that, it's probably a little more than that, it's probably closer to 20 gallons. We've got,
So how many times are you filling up a day?
usually I can fill up once a day. And they are,
7.5, 10,
I say
21
fill up
gallons.
once a day, but they're never completely empty when they fill. So I'd say between 18 to 22 gallons every time they fill. So,
Yep.
yeah, more or less mow 3 days a week. What do you got there?
figured at $4 a gallon, because that'll also include the oil changes.
They used $4,000 last year and the year before,
Yeah,
and gas is going
it's skyrocketed.
Oh,
50% or 100%? Is it double yet?
45
yeah,
or 50,
45, 50% usually.
45 to
Hasn't
50.
quite, hasn't quite doubled.
50% puts you at $6,000, and we don't know where it's gonna go.
Yeah, but he's already used a lot more than that, so.
Do you get that at the local stations, or do you use bulk fuel?
Yeah, we get it. We used to use bulk fuel. They did away with the bulk tank. I mean, the tank's still there, but they quit filling it, so we started going right there to the local gas station.
Was the bulk as good as,
I can tell it just in the pickup I drive every day.
okay,
I don't get any more spark knocks or rough idles. The fuel quality we have now is by far better. I can definitely tell a difference there.
And where you get?
Normally the Anchor.
So that's your source.
It's,
So we're figuring that $7,500 is more reasonable.
75, okay.
you,
Every analysis, like, we get a weekly report from work, and it's just, it's not much, but it takes up, it's like 5 cents, 10 cents.
So you did 7,500 on gas and oil.
Yes.
What did we wind that on repair and maintenance grounds? What did we wind up?
8,000 in
8,000.
Yeah, we did it.
And 8,000 on buildings.
He said he didn't want to go up any. He's
Yeah.
got it at 1,500 because he's thinking of moving the old mower to another department.
Yeah,
It's going to give him
that
some
would be
extra.
$5,000.
So that 1,500 is gonna cover what you're talking about, the portable tools.
It would, yes, and then, and we'll also have, if we move that one mower over to wastewater, that would give us 5,000 there that we could put toward that also. And all the different on-call jobs that you guys do.
Well, we were counting, I don't know about 5,000, but whatever amount there to go against the $12,000 new mower.
Yeah.
So we can't spend it twice.
Yeah, no, I understand.
I wanna make sure you still have enough for your tools, for maintenance.
I agree with what the mayor's saying and putting it forward because you're counting your discount
Yeah.
in 2 different areas.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, if you were to go get one of those electric kits,
Yeah.
you know, is that going to shorten what you've already budgeted? Because that's probably just your consumables.
Yeah. If you're talking about doing a kit, say if we did an impact and a grinder,
Probably looking at $1,000
probably
kit.
so, with some decent batteries, you know, with some,
Tools and small equipment would be more like 2,500.
probably so, if we did it like that.
Yes.
We're going the wrong way.
But the others were so easy though.
Well, we can save on the wages, which won't change your wages.
and just an advice for me, you might look at one of those grease guns that go with those two, because they're pretty,
What is it?
those grease guns that go with.
Yeah,
Those are nice.
Yeah.
Well, those are $300.
Yes.
Yeah.
250 to 300. Yeah. But
Well,
that's
that's
what that
what
is.
I wish I had one for myself.
This way nobody will cut short greasing.
Yeah.
And I know in October, I've been throwing this out there, if you've got a day, you can go to Springfield to Farm Fest, they have a big dealer consignment thing up there, and you can buy them a lot cheaper up there.
No kidding.
Yep.
At the fairgrounds or?
At the fairgrounds, yeah. That's what Bob and I had, it saved me almost $75.
Really?
Yeah.
So now you gotta wait all summer till I
No.
go.
I know it. It's the old man pumping in the summer. Build my biceps and between now and then, I guess. So, is there anything else, anything else you guys want to talk about?
Questions?
Thanks for going to the playground
Oh, no problem.
update.
Hopefully it helped on our points, because it wasn't fun.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, your turn. Administration and court, you can do well.
Yes.
I'm okay if you sit down, but it's up to everybody else.
I don't care.
It's up, it's, the mayor's in charge.
It'll be different, so yeah, you need.
Everybody else is okay. We expect every citizen to get up.
Spots. Okay, I spoke with Kelly again on the budget for court, and the only thing she needs is just training, and that's pretty typical for what court asks for, from what I'm told, and they do a week-long training. Her and the clerk from the police station will go and spend a week nonstop training. So that will help to cover their expenses for that. There's nothing else I've asked her to look for. She compared it to even what they asked for last year. And honestly, that's the only thing she needs is just money to cover the training. The second page of that is not my writing. I did not put it in, but I kept it. That is what they budget each year for the community center for air conditioning repair. And that's just clipped to the backside of the one that says court. I'm not sure how they did it last year. I wasn't involved in the budget at all last year, even my own. So I'm not sure why it's attached to court, but that's just how it was done, I guess. So I didn't bother it. It's just under industrial, and that's how they categorize it. So that's what that is for air conditioning at the community center.
We're slowly replacing each one as we go.
Yes.
It might have been because I know last year, due to COVID, we were using the community center quite a bit for court, so I think they might have attached it for that because the extra people being in there all the time.
Yeah. And Eddie can answer, if you have any questions about that, he can answer that part of it.
Last year, they budgeted $10,000 to replace one of the bigger three-phase units. It didn't wind up costing quite that much. And we had an issue with the smaller single-phase unit out there. They had a replacement. It wasn't new, but it worked, so they put it in. Well, I had him get me a quote on replacing another new three-phase unit, because we've got one up there now that's leaking. I had him get me a bid to do one of those and do the smaller unit, and it come in a couple thousand more than what we budgeted for one unit last year, and we would be a year ahead. We were gonna do one a year until all four were done, and then wouldn't have to worry about it for years to come. But if we can budget to replace one of the big ones that's giving us problems and do the smaller one out back for a couple thousand more than what we budgeted for one last year, we'd be a year ahead. So, but he give it to us in two different bids just in case we don't want to go that route. So,
It was like 12,000 total.
Yeah, that's a big savings.
And on the admin section, there was a couple things. So we had on there for the dog catcher, it is always run through admin. So it will stay the same. There'll be no changes to that one. He doesn't need to make any kind of changes to that. We got new phones, which are amazing and so incredibly helpful. There are some Bluetooth headsets that we can purchase for those. They run about $75. We found through Amazon we can get them even cheaper than that. Morgan was going to look those up today and we just kind of ran out of time. Would be really helpful, especially for Morgan and myself both,
Yeah.
because I may have something that somebody has asked me a question, but I've got to ask court. or she's got something that she needs to work with McKenna because of utilities. I don't know that it would be necessary for all four of us to have one, but for Morgan and I, just because we're both the two that are back and forth all over, it would be really helpful to have that where we can stay on a phone call and go ask and still take care of that phone call. So that's what those are on there for. The new curtains for City Hall, to my understanding from asking Mary, those were the original curtains that were hung when the bank was built. So they are, 40-ish years old. I thought about trying to take them down and trying to hand wash those myself, but once you even pull on them at all, they're tearing. They're just beyond help. We had looked at either curtains or window tint. We kind of checked into the window tint. It is ridiculous expensive. But then when I start checking on curtains, that was ridiculous expensive too. If I keep the existing hardware, if we just order long curtains and we get just a regular curtain rod, it is significantly cheaper. When I checked about someone making the curtains and making them the size that they are, just like in my office, it was going to be about $700 a panel. That's not feasible to me. So getting just a regular curtain rod and going and ordering from Amazon just a long curtain is significantly cheaper, but you're still looking at about $100, $150 a window. Not that I would expect those to all get changed, but even if we could do a couple windows a year would be amazing, because they're just starting to fall apart completely. They're just beyond their lifespan. Let's see. My computer is getting extremely slow. Those were purchased about 2 years ago. Ed Wright does our computer stuff, and he struggles with my computer all the time. I had an external hard drive on it. It just crashed 2 weeks ago, and those, we're not even sure what was on there because I'm not missing anything. It quit. He seems to think it probably won't be long before my whole computer crashes. So it's working fine now. It's just slow. So we just wanted to put that on there just for cushion, just in case.
So is that including the external hard drive, that price?
We can't find, because I don't know, because it was there when I
Not
started, so
necessarily need one.
right. We aren't finding that I'm not missing anything. I think that somebody had it there in case they wanted to move something over, but there's nothing missing. So I think it was just there for a cushion, just in case they wanted to move some files over.
Is there any, like, certain type of computer you have to have for
No.
G-Works or anything like that? It's
Nope.
just- Okay.
Just something with a lot of memory, because I keep a lot of files. So just the ordinance book alone takes up a lot of space.
What kind of networking do you have, like servers, backup
That's what I was
servers,
gonna ask
or-
next, is if there's a server.
Yeah.
We have a huge server. yes.
Okay, so you do have one.
Mhm.
So is the price that you got here listed enough to meet the minimal requirements for a computer to tie in and
Yes.
do your,
According to Ed, he said I could get by with somewhere around $350, because I can reuse my keyboard, I can reuse my screen, I just need the actual computer, so.
but your RAM and the other stuff it probably
He
takes.
seemed to think I'd be okay with what we looked at on Amazon, so,
Okay. Ed would know.
yeah, I have to leave that up to Ed, I think that's the worst.
He's been doing it longer than most of us.
Yeah, Ed's our sidekick. I put a comparison of, I contacted 5 other city halls. I put a comparison in there of what the wages are all the way across the board. And we are by far under everyone else around us, towns of equivalency size. But I just put that for comparison. On dues and fees, I just looked this all up about 3 weeks ago, so I sat down with Kelly, which is our AP person, and kind of asked some questions, because I didn't know what some of this stuff was or what some of these fees were. On the first page of the budget worksheet is dues and fees. It's the second one from the bottom. We kind of pulled up so I could see what that is, and that is mostly credit card fees and some different fees like that. I expect that to go down because of changing the credit card machine at the golf course. Should save us considerable. That's why I dropped that even just, we've used 17 because those fees went up this year, but I dropped it down to 16 just in case. I mean, we're not going to use as much as we did this year because the fees went up again, so I'm hoping that that is better. on the second page, about 3/4 of the way down, there's bank charges. There was nothing allotted to that last year. We looked those up, those are all deposit slips. Apparently, there was a huge stack of deposit slips for every account, and we had just, this year just got down where we were running out of every one. So that's what that is. There was nothing budgeted last year, but that's what the $356 is. It's all deposit slips that we bought throughout the year. They just ran out of their stash, so. I projected a little more on propane. As you can see, we went over the budgeted amount, because propane, like everything else, went up.
Do we prepay that during the summer?
We locked that in. We don't prepay, but we accept bids on that. And then whoever gets the lowest bid is who we purchase from. Telephone expense, you can see we are way below what was budgeted. Since we closed out a bunch of unused accounts, a bunch of unused fax lines, got a bunch of credits that should have been issued a long time ago put on there. So I definitely lowered that significantly, and I still think my 15,000 is probably too high. But I didn't want to, I don't know, because we were issued so many credits this year from cleaning things up that I'm kind of unsure of exactly where that's going to level, because we're still getting credits each month. But I know it's going to go down from where it was. Any other questions for me from anything? And I'll do my best to answer.
Any other equipment you can think of, copy machines, stuff like that that need to be,
Nope.
so everything's still running smoothly up there, printers?
Yep. I went through 3 in 1 year. I think I'm leveled off. It comes to my office for me to kill it, so.
Something I had mentioned to the previous mayor, I just thought about it when she mentioned propane. The city doesn't own all their own tanks, which limits the number of bids that we get in on propane every year, because nobody wants to bid on propane, change out the tanks, lose it the next year, and you gotta change out the tanks again. If the city owned all their own tanks, I think we can get a lot more bids in.
Or a multi-year contract?
Something to consider, that the cost of those
The cost,
tanks is
yeah.
really high.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah.
it's,
Slowly phase, like one,
We'd have to,
I
it'd
don't
take 5
remember
years
how
per tank to slowly get a little bit of a bid lower than that.
yeah.
What's our biggest tank?
Is it 500 gallons?
I think so.
I'm not sure.
Is that out of the shed?
Yeah, I think most of them the same size. I think most of them are all 500 gallon. Well, I don't remember how many we had. At one time, I don't know, 4 years ago, the previous administrator had us go through and make a list of who had city tanks, who had leased tanks, and I don't remember what the total number was. It was, I think was it 5 tanks total? 4 or 5 tanks, I can't remember. But I seem to me like the only one we truly own is this one right out back.
I think that's right.
I think, but the prices so far haven't been scalping.
Yeah.
So we really wouldn't save enough by investing at least $1,000, $2 a gallon, I think if I remember right, tank per tank. You really justify, I think, the idea of a 3-year bid or something. It's
Yeah.
taking a risk, because everybody's taking a risk there. And if they're willing to, I don't know if they're willing to take a 3-year bid, the way the prices are. But we could put that up to the propane companies and let them decide a 2 or 3 year. Then it's worth them switching out the tanks if they get the bid. They know they have it for 2 or 3 years.
Because in the bid too, you can have a clause where it can't exceed a certain percentage too.
Yeah,
It
so
could be
they
by
don't
certain, yeah, so they don't take as much of a hit,
Right, yeah.
so.
So that's an idea. We could put that forth when we put out the bids this year. Okay. Anybody else have any questions for admin? Thank you, ma'am. Okay, that's enough of the old business during the open session. New business. I'd like to discuss the payment methods of the front desk. There's in fact, it's called front desk. There's programs we can get into for utility payments and notifications at the same time. And this way, it's a system that's really good. Everybody that can sign up, and we'll have Shannon give us a little bit of a lowdown, but they can sign up even if they don't use the payment system. If they sign up for it, then they'll get notifications anytime we have a power outage or water boil order, et cetera, anything going on in the city, anything, even police use, I hope, if I'm correct. So let's hear your spiel on it
All right.
and get an idea of it.
So it's an extra module that comes with GWorks, which is our software company that we use now. With the use of front desk, we would also be required to change our credit card companies. Right now, we use Court Money, and they charge 4% to our customers. We would be required to change to a company called Forte, and they would charge 2.75% to our customers, which is a huge savings, just in itself. With what we use now, if I call from home and I want to pay my bill and I call City Hall, you can't take it over the phone. So I have to then turn around and say, well, I can give you a phone number to call. So then they've made 2 phone calls, so now they're annoyed already with us. But then if you call over the phone, there's an additional $3.50 convenience fee added to your 4% just to pay your utility bill. So it's, especially if they're coming in and they're paying a deposit on their utilities and then they're having to pay the extra fees, it can definitely add up. So we would definitely have to change to Forte. Each ACH through Forte would charge us 50 cents to use through Forte, which is a credit card company. We've checked around with the other cities surrounding us that do use this company. They absorb that 50 cents charge just to get people to use the ACH and pay their bills. It's less traffic inside City Hall, it's less phone calls, it is less bills that have to be sent, it's less postage, it's cheaper to absorb the 50 cents and get them to pay that way. We would not be running an ACH module with our local bank who we use. Now with the banking system that we currently use, we're getting ready to be charged for our ACHs, which is new. So we had been toying around with changing to front desk, but now that we're gonna have to start paying anyway, it makes it look even better. If a customer comes in and we say, hey, we have front desk, we can now get you set up. A lot of the older people don't trust ACHs, they don't wanna, pay that way. That's fine, as long as even we assist them to set them up a username and password, they can still get all the notifications, even if they don't ever choose to pay online. So if they still wanna walk in and hand me cash, I can still set them up so they'll get all the notifications. If we want to send out our agenda, for example, for our meetings, I can do that through this alert system. I can choose to set it up by email or by text message. If there's a boil order, if there's an electric outage, if there's a severe thunderstorm watch, whatever the notifications are, we can do that through front desk. We can also set that up if someone wants to access a building permit and fill that out and submit it to us. They can do that through the system instead of coming into City Hall, getting the paperwork, filling it out. So there's lots of other things it can do, but just pay your bill. We will not then have to keep any customer banking information. So right now, we have that all set up on our system because we do the ACHs. That's another security added to our customers, that we don't have their banking information, nor will we ever know it this way. They will set that up themselves and do that. Like I said, they do not have to set up to do payments to get those alerts. So it's just the username and password. She said it is very, very, very user-friendly and literally takes about a minute and a half to set somebody up. So that's something we will encourage people. We'll find a creative way. We'll put it on Facebook. We'll put something on the bill just to get that word out so that they can get those notifications. By doing front desk and doing the billing automatic, or where they go in and pay it, we would not be sending those bills. We can send notifications that delinquents are due, your delinquency will be tomorrow, shut-offs are the 21st. Just a reminder, whatever we need to do to just get that word out there. I know that getting bills to people because of the way our mail system goes all the way to Springfield and all the way back. We get constant complaints because people don't get their bills in enough time, or sometimes not at all. Somebody brought in a bill about a month ago that was from November of 20, and they just got it out of their mailbox. So these things would be really helpful to our customers to be able to make those payments. The outright cost, it's $4,360 for the module to be added. If we sign up before April 30th, they would take $1,200 off. That makes our outright cost of $3,160. It's, from what Morgan and I have talked to them about 3 times, and then we kind of went over everything with John. It looks like it'll cost about an average of $6 to get everybody set up, just get the users in the system, get everybody set up, get everybody going. For that cost, it will give us a batch of 300 users. We do about 130 ACHs right now a month, so that gives us quite a bit of room to exceed. If we were to need more users, it would be $300 for a batch of 50 more users. Now, the users are not getting the notifications, that's people actually wanting to make those payments. So just getting a username and password is not going to eat that up, if that makes sense. That's just if people want to use the
So
payments.
if anyone wants to get a notification, they come in and sign up at City Hall. It's free to them.
That's our
It
understanding.
does not cost us.
No,
And they don't have to use the system.
Correct.
They'll get notifications throughout.
correct, yes. It's, from what we can tell, and I have some emails from them, it will cost about 60 cents per month per user if they want to do their payments. And that right there, when Morgan and I was doing the math today, by the time we bill them, especially if we bill them a second time for delinquents, plus the postage, plus her time, plus the paper, plus the ink, it's pretty compatible with what we're already paying to bill people.
We're going to save a lot of hours.
Lots. Yeah.
That'll be the big one, is the main one.
Yeah.
And paperless.
Yep. They'll be able to go in, and once the bill loads, they'll be able to go in and look at their bill. Even if they don't want to pay it online, they can at least access it if they want to and see what it is. We get a lot of calls at the end of the month of people just asking what their bill is. They're trying to budget. They haven't got their bill in the mail, but they want to know how much it is so that they're ready for it. They would be able to do that themselves when they're ready. So,
And they're saving that 2.75% instead of 4% and a $3.50
yes,
fee.
and that's huge for our customers.
So after the initial, you're still looking at $4,300 per year to add that onto our current?
Just a one-time.
Is that a one-time fee and then we're good?
Yes. And then, now, the users, we would get billed per month, because that'll fluctuate. You'll have some shut off, you'll have some add, but on average, she really felt like, looking at what we've done over the last 6 months, she felt like a user amount of 300 would be plenty for quite some time. Just getting those notifications out there,
Deadline's Friday.
yes,
How much is Friday?
for the $1,200 discount. And she had proposed this to us back in December, and then we just were like, Morgan and I were just looking at cost to the city, and we were like, is there enough benefit? I don't know, I don't know. And then when I contacted her again, once we started kind of looking about ways to notify, the discount was $800, and the $1,200 went away, and so I kind of did some begging and got it back at $1,200, but that's why she said she said I can only give you this extra amount to the 30th, because I'm not even supposed to be doing it now. But I went back through the same person that I had talked to in December, so.
Well, with what I know at City Hall, and with what they're running rampant, busy between each other, I know they definitely need another hand there. And with this would definitely streamline it, and it would really give a bonus mostly to people. They're gonna really come out ahead on this, because we would all encourage, and maybe put it on their bills, if they can sign up for the
Yes.
free notification, and that'd be the same as what schools have.
Yes,
The notification is cheaper than what the prices they gave us from that other company.
Right.
yes.
So that's just an added bonus, that's free.
It's a win-win situation for both City Hall and the residents.
And they told us they would give us extensive training. modules that we could watch, links of people that would be basically one call away if we had questions till we got used to it.
And then the training's free?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, all of it.
I'd like to entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to amend the budget to account for the 3160 for the front desk. Did I cover everything?
I think so, unless
Okay.
there's anything else to it.
I'll second that motion.
With a second, is there further discussion, please?
I think it was well thought out.
Everybody's good on it? Okay, we'll have a vote. Linda?
Aye.
I,
You can call your name. Do we need a roll call vote for that, or just
Aye.
a vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Motion passes.
You can just say all in favor even and just have everybody.
Because a roll
Say
call
aye
vote, I
once.
know for adjournment and for something else, there's only two things that we really have to do a roll call vote for. Not sure what they are. What the redo of rules that.
I haven't digested all that law yet, so you gotta give me a minute.
But okay, motion passes, so that'll save us some money.
That really helped.
So at this time, I'd like to open up if the audience has any comments or questions.
you too?
John, did you want me to do the police department budget tonight? I know the chief and I will be gone next week to a training conference, so it's whatever, because he won't be available till the week after next, if you wanted chief to do it. I'm prepared to do it if you wanted to do it tonight.
We're okay with it right now, we still have enough of the others to go through. Unless you want us to put you down for no raises and no expenses, we're just gonna.
You just, yeah, just
Cross the
cross the
barrier.
lines, we're good.
Okay, and now to discuss the wages, et cetera, do we have a motion to?
Before that, though, because we've got the film, I want to thank everybody who came out to the senior center last Friday and supported not only the senior center itself, but also our community. And I'm glad that more people are seeing the amount of work and stuff that goes into the senior center. Just a big thank you. Keep also in mind that that was about 5 to 6 times more people in one day than what the senior center has been used to in the last 2.5 years. So if they want somebody to help discuss it or whatnot, they can come see me. I'll be glad to put it out. But let's make sure that you go by and thank the great people who not only volunteered but also work at the senior center, and make sure that they know that you're thankful for what they did do. And hopefully we can get back up to the hot meals and other stuff to our elderly that are homebound and things along that nature.
Well, last week when she was here, she said they averaged about 25 to 30 meals a day,
40 has been the most.
and they did 137 Friday.
I got an update, it was 153.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, not to mention 13 people that were actually turned away.
That's great.
Wow,
So,
They went and bought more food twice.
yes.
excellent.
Don't go late.
Were you part of the 13?
Yes.
Oh.
It was my fault, I was late, I was working.
More information as far as for boards and signing up and things like that are coming, so keep an eye out. And thanks everybody for updating the Facebook and the other websites and stuff to where we're pushing out more information.
And theoretically, this new front desk option will be able to
Yes.
advertise the things that go on. That'd be nice.
That'll be through email though, right? We won't get text messages for
You
all
can
of
go
that
sign up
stuff?
for either or, I think.
All I
You have
know is
to.
that we're capable to do either or, so I don't know if that will be all the way across the board, or if like you can pick text
What-
message and that person can pick email. I'm not sure about that, but I know we have the option to do both. I just don't know if it has to be all the same or not. I'm not sure about that.
But we'll keep it to the important stuff, not just everyday
Yeah.
advertising.
One question for Andrew. Any word on the microphones?
I have not been able to go up to Springfield just yet. I'm
Okay.
planning on doing that this weekend.
Thank you.
We hear you just fine. We keep it on this side.
Yeah, it needs to go over there.
There's one going over there anyway.
Okay, we'll have to turn the volume on mine down or it'll echo, so.
We have a motion to go into adjournment to, not adjournment, to go into closed session for discussing wages.
I'll make a motion to go into closed session.
Pursuant to RSMO 610 dash
610.0213,
third sub, yes.
What he
which
said.
which is hiring, firing, disciplining, or promoting of particular employees.
There's also another one for
And we're really just working on the budget with
the
this.
workshop. There is a subcategory for it. It's what, 5? I'll look it up later.
Yeah, it's not one of the ones that I use a lot, but I know it's in there. They're like
Do we have a
11.
second? We have a
So.
motion on the floor.
I'll second. Okay.
Second, and vote. All in favor?
Aye.
We're going to closed session. You guys want to stay there for 3 hours?
That's
Stay there, maybe? If not, we'll